Alright guys, how is it going? Welcome to a new video guys. Today we are going to be talking a little bit more about one of the two new Halloween games that we know we're going to be getting. One of them coming on, I believe it was October 18th. That's obviously the like 2D retro style game, like arcade game. That's called Halloween something Realm. I've completely forgotten now. But as we know, we are going to be getting a second Halloween game, and this one is, as far as we know anyway, it's going to be made using Unreal Engine 5 as well, which makes me think that it's going to be a little bit more of an in-depth game, and it's probably got a lot more ability to be a very good, not only just Halloween game, but horror game in general for all horror fans as well. I think if this is done right, it could be so fun for everyone. So what I thought I'd do today is I'd just give you guys five. I've kind of thought of five. One of them, I struggled to think of five, to be honest. But I did think of like a little one at the end, so I've added it. But yeah, these are like a few things that I would really like to see in the game. So getting straight into it, number one for me is it needs to be playable for both Michael Myers and a protagonist, like whether it is using like a Laurie Strode or whether it's a completely new character. This is a new storyline. I don't necessarily mind, but I would love the opportunity to play as Michael and stalk people, all of that. But as well as that, obviously the opportunity to play as a victim, I think is going to be really cool. It's going to be like, it's going to give more ability for the game to actually scare you as such, if you're also able to be hunted and stalked by Michael. I think there's some really good places you can go with just using those two as a starter anyway. But yeah, that's one thing I definitely want to see. The next thing I want to see, and this may be a big ask, I'm sure like some people are going to think, yeah, this is what we want, but we're not going to get it. But I would love some like level or form of free roam. I think that would be so cool. I think whether it's in Haddonfield, whatever the map necessarily is, but let's just use Haddonfield, or a small town anyway. But if we're able to play as Michael Myers and we can just go house to house, killing people, it can be unlockable for us to basically, use skills and use kills going to house to unlock new skills for Michael, maybe new like finishing moves that are ones that we know from the films. Yeah, I think having something to work towards as you're obviously stalking, killing your victims, and having Michael be able to level up, whether that is able to be seen physically as well in whether his, clothing and mask gets more damaged throughout the game. I think that could be quite cool. Or, we just literally see him level up, but your Michael Myers is way more powerful now, going into, little campaign or story modes. But yeah, I think a free roam, would be so cool. And I think it would really give us fans like an idea of what it's like to be Michael. I think that would just be amazing. And yeah, leading on from that, I know I mentioned it a little bit then, but I would really like to see a story mode. I don't want this game to just be like an online one, like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game or the Friday the 13th game. For me personally, I understand completely that for some people that's going to be the best case scenario, and you guys really like them games, and I do understand that, and I get like, obviously this is just what I want, but to me, those games, while they're great like initially and you can play as, Jason Voorhees or Leatherface and his whole family, but it kind of just gets a little bit like rinse and repeat. Like it's the same idea that, one of you guys are the killer, or however many, it's a team against a team online, and you're essentially just trying to perform the same task to escape. And I just feel like it's going to be great for maybe like the first 2-3 weeks, if that, but then it's just going to become another one of those games that, I've got both of those games, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre one and the Friday the 13th, and I think they're really fun games, but I'm probably never really going to go back to them now. It's like once the hype died, I just never really went back to it. So for me, a story mode or campaign mode, whatever you want to call it, I think that would be so sick. And I think it would really set it apart from the other games that we have gotten previously. Now, I spoke a little bit earlier about different skills that you can unlock and things like that as the game progresses. And I also think that there should be an opportunity to, whether it is unlockable through the game or downloadable, whether you can purchase it, I'm not really too sure what the best way to go about that one is. Probably unlocking it, you know, so we don't have to just keep spending money. But the idea that you could maybe spend, yeah, like whether it is downloading or unlocking it as the game goes on, but to be able to unlock like a different Michael Myers, whether that's just the mask, you know, the boiler suit. I understand that could be quite hard maybe with rights and, you know, all the films kind of in different areas, but I think that would be really cool if that would be possible. Obviously, I don't know if you guys have played any of the Batman Arkham games, but I forgot which one I had. It might have been Arkham Knights, or it could have been a different one actually. But that one was incredible. Like you could download the Tumblr. Like you did have to purchase them all, but it was still pretty good. You could like purchase the Tumblr from Batman Begins and like the Christian Bale trilogy. And yeah, you could literally just purchase all the ones. You could get like the Clooney costume. And yeah, just going further back and further back. And it was really cool. And it just added a little bit more to playing the game that made it that little bit more fun. And I think if we can do something like that with Michael and his masks, his boiler suit, I think that's definitely going to be something that us guys are going to, you know, want to get involved in. And it's just going to add a little bit more to it as well and kind of set it apart. I think all of the ones I've mentioned so far are like, if some of them were at least in the game, I'd be very, very happy. But for my fifth one, I did kind of have this in mind, but I didn't quite know how to slot it in as like a big want from me. But I guess it is a big one. It's basically that, you know, if we are in certain locations, whether it like if it does end up being maybe like a team v team or a Michael v, you know, 4 people and it is kind of online gameplay or whatever, I think including proper Halloween film locations it's a bit of a no-brainer to me. I don't really know where else you would possibly set it, but you know, if we can get a map that's Lampkin Lane, if we can get a map that's Haddonfield Memorial Hospital, if we can get Annie's house, what else could we get? We could get the school from H2O, little things like that. If we can like download or unlock them, or if they're just there really for us to play with different DLCs maybe as well, obviously as the game does continue with updates hopefully, I think that would be really fun. It would add a layer of like familiarity to everyone playing it, because we can probably almost maybe work out where things are initially in the game and have a bit of an understanding, which I think will be really cool actually, and it'll probably allow more people to get right into it rather than really trying to figure out the maps, everything like that. But yeah, let me know what you guys do think to all of this. Let me know what you guys want from this Unreal Engine game, and in my opinion what will hopefully be, for me anyway, the better of the 2 games. Let me know what you guys want to see in it. I will see you guys in